You know that saying, family is everything. Well, last Christmas, mine taught me just how false that can feel. Because while they laughed around a glowing table full of food and presents, my 6-year-old daughter spent Christmas completely alone in an empty house. And it wasn't because we didn't have anywhere to go. It was because my own family told me there was no room for us. It all started a few weeks before Christmas. My parents were hosting their traditional holiday dinner, the big one they throw every single year. It's the event everyone in my family looks forward to. Cousins playing, music, food, chaos, everything. I called my mom to ask what I could bring, expecting her usual warmth, but instead, she paused. Her voice got quiet and uncomfortable. She said, "Sweetheart, we're kind of tight this year. There's not enough space at the table." At first, I laughed, thinking she was joking. But then she added, "It's just, with your divorce and everything, we thought it might be awkward." That hit me like a slap. Awkward? Because my ex-husband left. Because I'm a single mom now. Since when did being abandoned make me the one who doesn't belong? That night, my daughter Emma came running into my room with a handmade Christmas card. In her uneven handwriting, it said, "For Grandma's house. From Emma. I'll help decorate." I froze. How could I tell her Grandma didn't want her there? So I lied. I told her Grandma's house was being renovated, and that this year we'd have a special Christmas at home. Just the two of us. She didn't even look sad. She smiled and said, "Then we'll make it beautiful, Mommy." For the next week, she cut paper snowflakes, drew stars, and taped them all over the windows. Every night before bed, she asked the same question, "Mommy, do you think Santa will still find us if we're alone?" And every time I told her yes. Even though my own heart was breaking a little more, when Christmas Eve came, the house was quiet. No guests, no noise, just the faint sound of Christmas music from the neighbors next door. Emma wore her red pajamas, the ones with the tiny snowflakes. She baked cookies. Half of them were burnt, but she didn't care. She poured 2 mugs of cocoa, one for me and one for Santa, and whispered, "Maybe Grandma just forgot to invite us." I wanted to cry right there, but instead, I smiled and said, "Maybe Grandma's table was full, but ours has all the space in the world." We opened one small present each. She got a little doll from me, and she gave me a handmade card that said, "You're the best mommy in the world." That night, I realized something. Even though the world felt quiet, even though no one else cared, that tiny moment between us was everything Christmas was supposed to be about. The next morning, my phone buzzed. It was a photo in the family group chat. Everyone sitting around the dinner table, smiling, and in the corner of the picture was an empty chair. A few hours later, my brother called. He sounded shaken. He said, "Mom's been crying. She realized Emma's chair was missing." She said, "Why did we say there was no room?" I looked at my daughter sitting on the floor, feeding cookie crumbs to her doll, and I told him softly, "There's always room. You just have to want to make it." A week later, my mom showed up at our door. She brought gifts, but you could tell that wasn't why she came. Emma ran to her, hugged her, and said, "Grandma, come see our Christmas tree." Mom followed her into the living room. The tree was crooked, the ornaments were paper cutouts, and the cookies were stale. But it was beautiful, because it was ours. Mom's eyes filled with tears. She whispered, "I never meant to make you feel unwanted." I told her, "We weren't unwanted. We were just waiting for space to open up in your heart." Now every Christmas, there's always an extra chair at my family's table, a reminder of that year. And hanging on our tree is one special ornament, a paper snowflake that says, "Always make room." Because family isn't about how big your table is. It's about who you choose to make room for. Even when it's inconvenient, my daughter may have spent one Christmas in an empty house, But in that silence, she taught us the loudest truth of all. Love doesn't need an invitation. If you feel the story, please like the video and also subscribe for more videos.